Welcome everybody to the all-Australian cast. I'm Gods, he's Baseskip. We're casting on the BTS2 stream. I had to look for a second, I forgot what game we're casting. CNB versus TongFu. We've had a decent number of matches going place so far in day one of the TI4 qualifiers. There's no big surprises, no big upsets. Thoughts? What have you seen? Who's impressed you?
I think, well, New Element are actually doing all right. I think they came in as like middle of the pack. They could take games off some of the top teams. But most people were saying, like, chance of top 4, but they've been looking all right. So I guess that's maybe the one minor upset. But
they are taking on, I believe, LGD right now. That's over on the main stream. So, guys, there are 4 streams going on. We've got BTS1, BTS2, the lounge stream on BTS3, as well as High Ground TV. But we've missed a lot of this draft. Had to like fix my mic. It was completely misshapen. Hopefully it's all okay. I got stream up, so if audio isn't balanced, let me know in the Twitch chat. I'll look to adjust as much as possible. But guys, we're gonna hop into the draft. I hope. Yay, we're in the draft. TongFu versus CNB. What stands out? What's happened this draft, Baseskip?
Bloodseeker got banned.
Yeah.
So TongFu were doing their best to set up for this Weaver pick, banning at the Bloodseeker and the Rubik. Rubik obviously really nice to have up against the Weaver, but they really signaled that they were going for that hero with those 2 bans. So we'll see how it does here for TongFu. I feel like it's an alright Weaver game. He's okay against Batrider, but once Batrider has his 4 staff, doesn't really mind so much.
TongFu's turn.
Aside from that, first pick Brewmaster. That's the new hot thing as far as the Chinese qualifier is concerned.
We're all about the Brewmaster. I mean, in America it was the Marana. In SEA,
Viper, maybe.
It started off as Invoker. I would say it started off Invoker, but then Invoker was being constantly banned. The most picked hero was Treant Protector, actually.
Which is banned here.
Yeah,
so.
no Treant Protector here. But yeah, for China, I don't know if it's... I don't think it's going to be the most picked hero, but it's definitely going to be a hero we see all over the place.
Yeah.
Because DT love to run it, LGD love to run it. We see TongFu running it. Lots of teams running the Brewmaster. So, no real crazy picks from either team. CNB have cast, I think, once before in an ECL BO1. They actually ran a Bloodseeker, which I don't know if it was that game I casted, but I remember watching an ECL game and they had Bloodseeker. So maybe TongFu know they like Bloodseeker, and also, like you say, it's good against the Weaver. No, also good against the Brewmaster.
Okay, so we're guaranteed a core Wraith King here as well, just because they do have a Sand King and an Ancient Apparition. They could potentially go aggressive. It is double melee, but I think they should have the lockdown and the burst damage to be able to kill off the Weaver. So we'll see how CNB are feeling. A lot of it comes down to your confidence as far as aggressive trial and execution is concerned. But looking at the 1v1 matchups, there shouldn't be anything too terrible just yet. So we'll see. Aggressively trialing into a Dazzle is tough. He's one of your best tri-lane versus tri-lane supports. And TongFu still have the opportunity to shore up their defensive tri-lane a little bit with their final pick. So maybe not going to be the strongest option for CNB. They're, of course, still looking for a mid at the moment. Would really like to see a more glass cannon-y mid, especially if you're going to be running the Wraith King. Just because, game plan for the Wraith King, run in, soak up a bunch of spells, be on the front lines. Sand King and Batrider are going to be fulfilling a little bit of that role as well, so you can go for something a little bit evasive, something pretty high damage. And, okay, OD, I think that fits the bill reasonably well.
Yeah, I think it's not. I would prefer something that benefited more from the lifesteal with the Shadow Fiend or Morphling, but
OD's pretty legit with the Arcane Orb damage plus.
Do you lifesteal from the bonus Arcane Orb damage? I would guess no, but I wouldn't have a clue, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm not actually sure off the top of my head.
Or is it just your base damage you're lifestealing from? That would be an interesting one. If you're lifestealing the Arcane Orb damage, then I'm totally okay with this pick. I mean, I think it's a nice pick either way, but I like it a lot more.
The thing is, with an Orb effect, it's not adding to your damage.
It's like
replacing it.
Yeah.
And I feel like you do lifesteal when you Arcane Orb, so maybe you are lifestealing the total
it's
damage.
also pure damage, which makes it a bit different as well. Let's not forget to go out here. So quickly go into the camera. Hi guys, I'm changing settings on Dota 2. I don't even know if we don't even have in-game audio. Hello Dota TV.
Oh man,
Dota
God's
TV.
disband.
I know. This is the first time casting up here, but we're getting things hopefully all set.
Camera, edge pan.
I don't use
all
no
the
edge.
good stuff.
I don't use no edge. Do you use edge pan?
I use edge pan a little bit.
I'm not big on the edge pan.
It's not a big feature. I mean, it's mainly smooth drag.
My main thing with the edge pan is often because there's like 3 monitors here, so I'll try to go to like another monitor.
And you'll just fly off.
And it flies off on the main screen. That's actually 99% of the reason I turn edge pan off. And like I never really use edge pan. I can just scroll or use arrow keys. So
okay.
But
okay, so it looks like CNB are going to go aggressive here. They've already made their way down. They've placed one ward.
They poke out. They actually get spotted by the Shadow Shaman. So
Shadow Shaman, didn't really shore up the tri lane as much as I think TongFu were hoping.
That dead dazzle, yeah, it's a dead dazzle. Kabu has the point in grave, and we'll use it, but he ain't got anywhere to run.
Yeah, he's not going anywhere.
First blood goes to the Batrider of 2, so with the first blood secured, I think the supports rotate top, because Sand King will want to do some pull stacks, play big. I mean, he can rotate, he's got boots first, so I think it'll be a combination of like smoke ganking mid, or at least ganking mid and then stacking neutrals in between. Like, I don't think they need to go bottom lane to help the Batrider now that they've got him first blood.
Yeah, this should definitely be a really good start as far as the Sand King is concerned. And anything else interesting going on? Not really, just your farming Wraith King. Offlane H's Prophet does have some regen and the single clarity, so he's going to be able to be a little bit of a nuisance. Hopefully he blocks out the first spawn with Treants, but it looks like he's not going to, which to me is a little bit of a misplay, honestly. Yeah. As an Offlane H's Prophet, it's pretty important to do. And it looks like he wasn't even necessarily scouting right at the start with Treants either. And you're on the Radiant side, like you get that nice kind of creep equilibrium close to your tower where you can leech XP, and that can just be ruined by one single pull. So we'll probably see that come fairly early on here. As far as mid lane, we get a OD picked against Brewmaster. I'm actually I like the fact finally someone's picked a mid that can just outlane a Brewmaster. Like a Brewmaster will still do okay. He's got the Quelling Blade Stout Shield. He's got decent regen. Top lane there will be another kill. Wraith King actually getting the last hit there. The Nature's Prophet just caught out. What's happening to TongFu? I don't know what happened. There's an observer just over here. I thought he saw the Ancient Apparition making his way upriver, but didn't play defensively enough, and as soon as the first stun landed, that was it. Yep. So another easy kill going the way of CNB, and they're off to a pretty good start. Yeah. What I was trying to say is that I think OD's a good, like, I like it against the Brewmaster, and I think this is a hero that can just completely outlanes almost anyone, and I feel a lot of people giving Brewmaster too many easy matchups in the mid lane. I'm not convinced that it's that much of an outlane, especially with the new Drunken Brawler. That's just a guaranteed CS every single time you have the crit available. I mean, I keep comparing it to Janata because I think it's very close, and you know, as you can see, U9, he doesn't really care about the OD's harassment that much. Yeah. He's just going to keep playing up, and OD's got so much damage you can't even last hit under tower there. That's painful. You go for like the tower hit, you hit it, tower hit, you hit it again for the last hit, and OD, the tower kills it because your damage is too high. I hate that with I honestly hate heroes who heroes who have too high a base damage. It's the worst. And like you don't know, like sometimes tower does like min damage, sometimes do their max damage. It depends how much damage the tower is dealing. So if you've got crappy base damage, it's like you get it always with your 2 right clicks. But if you've got big damage, sometimes you don't get it. So TongFu have lost control of this bottom lane pretty disastrously. Honestly, this is another creep wave pushing into the Batrider. He already had first blood, so he's got a lot of gold up for himself already, and now he's added level 3. So it's just going to be extremely difficult to zone out. I mean, TongFu do have a pretty good lane as far as maybe killing him is concerned, especially with the lockdown from the Shadow Shaman, but because he has this ward, there's very little chance that he dies, and he can just play up a whole lot. Yep. We're good. Got on. We had it on the wrong camera for a while. Was it just us? Oh my god. That was quality content. Oh my god. People asked for the all Aussie cast. Oh my god. They didn't demand Dota 2, okay? Oh my god. It was the Australia cast. Oh my god. God, did I? Look, at least we look respectable today. Yeah, thank God. Had a shower. Washed my hair. We had the lights off too, so it's nice and dark. We got some good ambience going on. Man, we just missed the rinse of this guy. I feel embarrassed. Okay, I mean, so let's recap what happened for all the good folks out there that missed it. We gave them the radio cast. Yeah, we did give them the radio cast. So CNB are up 2-0. The Sand King's basically made plays so far. The Batrider's having a really good time. Brewmaster not even doing that badly. He's 12-3 up against 14-7, so he is getting denied, but I don't know. To me, this feels really similar to like the Kunkka versus OD matchup. You're just using, in this case, your guaranteed extra damage from Drunken Brawler just to secure a couple of CS every now and then, and that's just the game plan. So I'm not even convinced that the OD is crushing the Brewmaster by any stretch of the imagination. Yeah, I mean looking at CS, it's pretty much dead even. So by no means has the lane been won. You can't harass. It gets that evasion up, and you're done for. So
Yeah, Brewmaster doing just fine. He's actually out-leveling the OD. The Brewmaster denies count for a bit more, being a melee hero. So
not anymore.
Oh no, you're right. No, not anymore. No,
come on, gods, what are you doing?
I don't know. There are too many patch changes.
Too many patches.
OD's ventured off to get runes. That's probably what happened. But
yeah.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
This bottom lane still very pushed up. Batrider actually rotated off the lane for a little bit. Maybe he have to go back to base to just heal up, but he's going to be back for this XP as well as some farm under his tower. Early game, I mean, 2 kills up for CNB. They haven't necessarily won the mid lane. I don't know. I don't feel like either team's that far ahead with the way this early game has panned out.
No, and especially because there's some pretty farmy heroes on both sides. The OD is going to be spending a lot of time just hitting creeps this game. Same kind of story for the Nature's Prophet. They're both going to take about the similar kind of time to be really online. So we're probably looking at a fairly slow-paced game. Might be seeing a Midas out of the Wraith King and the OD as well. So let's put a little bit of pressure on the Batrider to make plays, but he got that first blood, so should be a pretty timely transaction for him.
That's going to get a bit harassed. He's just coming in to lead some of this XP here. Shackles is there from the high ground, but Firefly wearing off. This may actually be a kill. SDN goes down. Nice little bit of play there. Just getting the long stretch Shackles off from the high ground, and down goes your Batrider.
That's cool. That was a little bit over-aggressive, perhaps.
Yeah.
Though, I mean, it's easy to say that in hindsight.
That was like just barely, like a matter of just millimeters there as far as him actually escaping that. Well, not escaping that one. The Shackle's only just in range, and he did have the Firefly out for long enough to kind of get out of there, but the Shackle's chased him down. He probably also wasn't expecting a Prophet TP in of all things, but this is the time where you want to TP in your Prophet, because you follow up a kill or even a lack of kill with a T1 tower push in. First tower of the game, going away TongFu.
Yeah, and the Prophet already has some phase boots up, so things not even looking too bad for him, despite that death up on the top lane. That kill is going to get him sort of straight back into the mix, and I think things looking very even. The one downside, of course, of the Batrider this game that they have a Sand King, so they are both vying for the jungle.
Invisibility.
You need to be a bit careful here. Sorry, Fox TP's in just to snag that Invis rune, deny it from the OD. He is kind of struggling for mana. Only the 2 points in the essence for it. Not having much luck there with the procs. But for CNB, it's really the race towards the Blink Daggers. Sand King as well as Batrider both wanting Blink Daggers. And for the Radiant side, like your Brewmaster's mid, he'll get a Blink Dagger eventually, but I feel it's less crucial compared to, especially your Batrider getting his Blink Dagger.
Dire's courier has been killed.
That's sad life. Invis Prophet snipes courier. Okay. That's actually quite troublesome.
Yeah, that is no fun. What was actually
I'm not sure. Wraith King had his Midas. I think it was returning from the
yeah, it was empty. It was empty.
Yeah. Okay, so Wraith King just picked up his Midas recipe, and I think it was just sending it back home or something, or towards. I think it was going towards mid lane to bottle Crow for the OD. He didn't actually drop his bottle just yet, but Midas is all around. Weaver gets one, Wraith King gets one. When I see a farming Wraith King, I like the Midas build. So many farming Wraith Kings don't get Midas, and it really slows down their leveling, and they need to hit level 11, which you often don't get the XP for when you're in a tri lane.
Gank down bottom lane, SDN in some trouble, slowed down, there's the Shackles, and right click's going to be enough to bring him down. Another death for the Batrider.
It's hard. Like, playing against Shadow Charm are never fun because you've got the Hex as well as the Shackles, but I mean, realistically, he should just be rotating off the lane at some point, but doing so when you've got the Sand King trying to take over your jungle, maybe not the easiest thing to do, so this is going to be a tough game. Batrider, who got first blood, suddenly 1 and 2, has Boots Bottle, only 400 gold to his name. And he can't farm bottom lane. He hasn't even got the T1 tower there to protect himself anymore. So he's really on an island.
Yeah, Bat having a pretty tough time. Is the Sand King getting farmed to compensate? Kind of. So he's got 1,600 gold up. He's hopefully going to be able to move around a little bit with his Blink Daggers. So
did you get the message to mute your mic, by the way?
Yes, I did. I don't even know why it was open. I didn't even know there was a mic connected to this computer. But
me neither.
There you go. Top tower is under attack.
It's probably like a webcam mic.
Yeah, it might be the webcam mic somewhere.
If so I've random headset plugged in.
Yeah, I've disabled it.
No, there shouldn't be. There's no actual mics, but you know. Well, we've done everything we can to possibly mess up the technical aspects of this card. But CNB, they get themselves top tower. So tier 1 for tier 1 as far as bottom for top lane. Both teams getting their safe lane towers. Boarding action coming on from TongFu, so they're getting some decent map control here. Secure the rune for U9, and Sand King suddenly has his blink, so this is actually not too bad. Like, you look at the Batrider, he's struggling to get his up, but Sand King can now hopefully create space for Batrider to get his. But Batrider can swing jungle, Sand King can go gank. Or maybe Batrider's happy bottom lane.
I think Batrider's honestly faster in the jungle, so he should probably just make his way over there and clean that one up. And TongFu, 2-man smoke, making it to top lane. Looking for some kills here.
Get the AA, I guess. You don't really want to go on this Wraith King. If they go on Wraith King, he's got Reincarnation. You're gonna have to kill him twice. He throws his son on Kabu. Kabu has got the Grave here, and Reincarnation gonna slow him down. Kabu's got a Grave and Grave soon. Not yet. TP out from the Wraith King, and there's no stuns left for him. Grave from the Dazzle will save his life, and this will be a dead Ancient Apparition. That's actually really well played by TongFu, I'd say. They burn the Reincarnation and kill the AA. Kind of like that.
I think the Ancient Apparition should have just run for the hills as soon as
Yeah.
I mean, they did end up using the shackles on him, and had he not been there, they would have been able to cancel the Wraith King's TP.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know if the game plan for him was even sacrificed. I think it was like, oh, maybe we can get another kill here out of all of this.
Well, Courier's back. There's a Midas recipe for your OD, as well as some other paraphernalia on there. Blink Dagger for that's Sand King's Blink Dagger. He's only just actually getting it out to himself now, so he got it afforded it some time ago, but only just gets it out.
So as far as core items are concerned, I think things are looking all right for CNB. What I do worry for them is how are they going to respond? Oh, actually, I don't know if there's going to be that much 5-manning around the Brewmaster. Normally, you see the Brewmaster in a lineup, and you immediately think, okay, look, this team is aiming for some 5-man timings. They're aiming for those tier 1 towers. But as a counterpoint, we have a Nature's Prophet and a Weaver, both of whom have gone Midas here.
Yep.
So the Brewmaster is a little bit more just creating space for these too much green.
They go in the OD. Brewmaster's got a grand total of 13 mana. How are you getting this kill with 13 mana? Looks like with just some solid right clicks, the shackles are there and they'll get it. Brewmaster don't need no mana. That's a painful Brewmaster when you got 13 mana going in for a kill. But hey. It's kind of nice being against the OD when you can spam the clap when you've got mana, because you know when you get burnt down to that 13 mana, one magic sick proc and you're back to full mana, like when you get your intel back. And it's kind of like the equivalent of like dropping your arcane boots to bottle up.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. They are going to have a TP coming in here from the Batrider. If he dies here, this could be pretty crucial. They're
going for the epicenter. The blink is there. Zhao Loom is the only one in range here. Actually, no, gets a 2-hero bar strike. Actually, no, U9 gets blown to pieces. Didn't get a chance to pop up his ultimate there. A nice chain stun coming out.
Where's the Grave?
Oh, where was the Grave? Level 1, I guess, quite a short range, but you should have been closer now. You Grave and then you get Primal Split off, so it doesn't even matter if you've got the AA Ice Blast on you. You still do survive.
Yeah, so honestly, just
Kabu,
shaky coming out of Kabu.
He's meant to be the veteran on this team. Yeah, the most experienced player here, but not really showing it there with his support play.
So TongFu, they get a kill, they get some damage down on the tower. They actually do end up getting the tower at the end of the day. So
I think it's still a win for them.
Like, yeah, and they got the blink on the Brewmaster, so not the hugest loss from that death.
Yeah. Well, losing Brewmaster not good for them, but they're farming well on the Weaver. They've got 2 tier 1s. They're, I think, in a pretty good position here. They do have to worry about when Bat gets his blink, which it looks like STM will get it in just 50 gold. So he'll farm up some neutrals here. Oh, don't block that big spawn. Oh. He's done it? No. No, he's blocked it. He's blocked it. And he summoned Mud Golems. That's what you get for blocking your neutral spawn. You get some Mud Golems. He's got his blink regardless.
Yeah, blinked up, can afford a smoke, so he can go and look to make a play. They would probably like to kill this Weaver if they can. He's being a little bit uninterrupted, and Zhalov actually creeping his way to the top of the network.
So throwing a Primal Split mid lane. They want this OD. Prophet's TP'd in, and I don't think OD's got an escape plan here. Wrath of Nature goes through, the Hex is there, and down goes Dogfight.
And these Blink Daggers are just finding kills for both teams, and we'll see if that trend continues.
Wraith King shows up mid lane. He's got Treads, Midas 600 gold. Possible Blink Dagger game coming up from him, do you think? Or do you want to go for something else first?
You've already got 2 Blink Daggers, so I'm not sure.
I think it's a good point. Oh, U9, he's in trouble. He's got the Grave on him, but this is just going to delay the inevitable. No way out for him. 7 wants to get dropped as well. But there's your Bar Strike through. They're going to lose 2 instead of what could have just been 1. And the Serpent ones are going to get fed away. So this is some nice little gold going the way of Team CNB.
The game just keeps getting traded back and forth. I feel like neither team is really evaluating that well whether or not they should be going for
this gold graph is just like a zigzag. Like, I'm just like, well, that's kind of how I felt casting this game. It's not like either team's convincingly ahead or doing too much more. I think TongFu are in a good place with their items and their farm and stuff, but you look at CNB and they've just got the much better team fight. 2 Blink Daggers. They've got a Wraith King who's got a lot of farm and also hit level 11. So having the level 2 reincarnation matters a lot here. Whereas you look at TongFu, like, Nature's Prophet, not exactly a team fight here. Shadow Shaman, very squishy. If you want to jump on him, he's just straight up dead. So I feel TongFu need to focus more on their split pushing, going for, like, single target ganks, not trying to take any 5-on-5 team fights.
Yeah, this is a pretty crucial gank here for CNB. They do need to play some wards down as well. They've only got this one Observer ward. sitting on the map right now. So they're a little bit blind as far as going for this gank is concerned.
Yeah.
But fortunately for them, Sharlov is around, so
Invis Rune just disappears under an observer ward. So TongFu are watching that, they know. Wrath of Nature goes through. Actually, it's top lane. That's killing the AA. So U9 goes in with a blink clap, and Wrath of Nature gets the helps get the kill there. So there's TP's top. CNB want to defend this, and TongFu, no Brewmaster ultimate for 20 seconds. This is a risky proposition for them, and it looks like they're going to wait for the Wraith King to show up, and maybe that's going to be the signal to just back off, or at least wait for the Brewmaster ultimate, which is possible. TP out from Shadow Shaman. Is this a dead OD? Oh, yeah, the TP from the Prophet. OD. Sprouted up has a TP, but he can't actually TP if the Shadow Shaman. He's there in time.
I find you.
I like smart play from the Shadow Shaman to just TP knowing he was needed for the disable, because without him they can't actually cancel that TP.
Yeah, the OD was just in the middle of no man's land, however. And again, so much of this comes down to a vision problem.
These two
for
wards
CNB.
are like questionable.
Yeah, I mean they had heroes top lane, but they didn't know where TongFu went. They backed off a little bit into the fog, and the OD was like, "Oh, I just saw them top. I'm safe." But not the case. So gets punished for that one, and TongFu gonna get some damage down on this tower.
Doesn't look like they'll get the tower. And they don't want to hang around against a Blink Dagger Batrider. Actually, Wraith King taking heavy damage. The Batrider is smoked up over the trees. Who's he actually gonna lasso here? And they may get caught out here. He's looking for Sorry Foxy. The reincarnation has proc. Shackle Squad as well. Batrider's just staying in because he's not actually lassoing it, and now he's going to throw a lasso as it's kind of overlap with the Burrow Strike. Shadow Shaman getting very low, but the Brewmaster's showing up with the Primal Split. Him and the Nature's Prophet both going to escape for now. Primal Split Warrior's taking a lot of damage. They actually get the Tier 2 tower and lose no one. Burrow Strike through on U9. He may end up going down here if this lands, and will do so. Grave. U9, he's going to TP home, but I think he may shatter at base unless the Ice Blast effect wears off. No, does not. Ice Blast outlasting the Grave there, as that's going to be the only kill CNB get there, so I'd say still a small win for TongFu.
Yeah, they got the tower, they got the Wraith King ult. Not the best execution between the Sand King and the Batrider, as you pointed out.
I don't know what Bat was doing. He could have lassoed, like,
he could have lassoed somebody much earlier than that. Like, hesitated, they both ended up going for the Rasta.
He should have lassoed the Weaver there. You lasso the Weaver into a Burrow Strike, he's dead. That was the opening. You've got an Invis Rune or a Blink lasso initiation on Weaver, you can actually kill him. What? There's no counter initiation. Like, maybe Shadow Shaman hexes you, but you've already got the lasso off. So either way, you've got the lasso off. The Burrow Strike is going to land because you've got a blink on the Sand King. So I don't know why I just didn't go on the... I think Weaver was the perfect target.
Yeah,
now Weaver's got
and they desperately needed a kill on this Weaver as well. We were just talking about it earlier, how he is uncontested, top of net worth, farming away. And now he's got a Lincoln Sphere, so that gank gets just that much... gets that little bit harder. And what do we have out for the Wraith King? Okay, so just going to be an armlet build from him. Again, I'm not too surprised. It's a really efficient damage item.
Yeah.
And you've already got 2 Blink Daggers to hopefully be leading off these fights. So it's not 100% necessary that he needs to be that Blink initiator for his team this game, because the Bat's already going to handle it.
Might not have much fun, though. There's now first Necrobook coming out on the Nature's Prophet. So these are going to cause Wraith King some problems in these team fights. For now, he has got the Magic Wand, which you need. That's like bare minimum against the Necrobooks. Pop the wand right before you die, but if you're stunned up or shackled, you're not even going to get a chance to proc that, and you may just die without getting reincarnation off. Bottom lane, AA blowing up. Nice game. That's the Blink Shadow Shaman.
Yeah, the Shadow Shaman is actually really farmed. He had his Arcanes and 1k gold like 8 minutes ago, I want to say.
Yeah, he's getting some... I don't know if he's getting the last hits for the towers. Look like Weaver got the tier 2 bottom, but...
Well, he's also 3-1 and 5, so just perfect participation across the board for him so far.
Misblinks onto the high ground here.
Can't be perfect all the time.
Who is Mr. Luke Owl? Like, I've been casting TongFu a few times over the last few weeks, and I do not remember any Mr. Luke Owl.
With me.
The rest of the players, I'm like, okay, I know who these guys are. They had actually... Zhao Lu is not on the TongFu roster. Well, he is now, I guess, but he wasn't until, I guess, a week ago. Kabu was also only recently added, but I have no idea who Mr. Luke Owl is.
Well, he's playing pretty well this game, so props to him. The one thing worth mentioning here for CNB is potentially a catch-up Roshan if they end up in a really bad spot. OD and Wraith King can deal with it pretty quickly.
Here we go. They've got a Blink ready. Wraith King going to TP in first. Well, Hero, you definitely want the front lines here. Batrider's going to start the fight with a Blink Lasso. Everyone's already down, so they're fighting into these. Hammers dropped, and that's not going to do a whole lot of damage from the OD. They've only cut off the Shadow Shaman. Epicenter not being channeled, just a Blink Burrow Strike, but he doesn't even hit too much with that one. Batrider's low for now. Nice time lapse coming out from Zhao Lu. This will be a kill into the Wraith King, but he'll reincarnate if you focus him down, so goes to the Sank instead. 4 dead on the back lines. An absolute massacre in the end. SDN on the Batrider still alive. They're going to look to kill the Wraith King a second time instead. Brewmaster, Clap, Drunken Hazen. Well, no more right clicks for you, 8KK, and that's a 4-hero wipe, including the reincarnation. What happened? I was watching the fight over on the left, and suddenly there was like 3 CNB heroes dead to the right. Does Brewmaster go in ham, or...?
I mean, they focused on the Shadow Shaman, and then the Brewmaster just immediately clapped everybody and just went to town. I think, yeah, Prophet ult bounced through as well right as it happened. So everybody just got absolutely decimated by those 2 abilities at once. And then I think they had both Weave and the Swarm.
Okay.
So even the Weaver right-click was doing some pretty significant damage. But my biggest question is, where was the Epicenter?
Yeah, he blinked in and...
He has a rank 2 Epicenter. It's a huge amount of damage. TongFu don't have a mech.
Yeah.
They don't have a pipe.
I think
would have...
They just win that fight, well, at least trade evenly. Like
I mean, I think it was already a little bit weird to jump the Rasta.
Top tower
I mean, he was at the front.
They're trying to get him before the Serpent Wards went down, it looked like. It was like...
But he got them off.
Simultaneous almost, but...
Yeah. Good reactions again from...
Yeah. I mean, Rasta's happy to throw away his life for a fight like that, so... Even so, like, I feel like the fight with Rasta, I mean, Rasta dying there, the fight could have gone really bad for TongFu if the Epicenter was well placed.
Yeah, everybody was clustered in that fight. There was just...
I mean, your Brewmaster's safe in the ulti form, but the Prophet, I mean, you get the Dazzle, he'll get burst down before he can even cast a Grave if you place it right. We'll see. TongFu now. They take a tier 2 tower. They're getting good map control with their lineup with Prophet, with Shadow Shaman. They can always consider Roshan even though they are on the Radiant side, so... Fighting into Roshan, yeah, I guess they've got Sand King, they've got Batrider great around the Roshan pit, so... Definitely something CNB would try and contest, I imagine.
Yeah, definitely something that CNB are going to be keeping an eye on. They've got an Observer Ward just over there at the moment. We've got a Force Staff completed for the OD, so things looking a little bit better for him. The Wraith King has a little bit of gold, so be really worried about that Necrobook on the Prophet, which he might have to be. He can pick up a BKB, perhaps, as his next item. And TongFu, they've got that Brewmaster ultimate back up, so they're just going to be looking for a fight. He's got a DD.
There's no reincarnation. I think you just give this. He sees the Necro 3 and he's like, okay, there's Necro 3s. I haven't got reincarnation anyways, but fighting Necro 3s at 20 minutes in the game is just not a healthy proposition.
Middle tower has
they let it drop, and problem is with that, into the Roshan pit, TongFu go. They don't have Serpent Wards. They also are going to have Necro 3s expiring soon, so this is definitely something CNB can fight.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Mr. Luke on the high ground there. Gonna, they haven't. Oh, they saw the Sand King. The Weave scouted him out. Shackles to follow. The Blink Clap is there. Sand King does go for Sandstorm.
Radiant's bottom tower
U9's is completely stuck. He can't blink out. I don't know what U9 does here. He just has his blink cancelled. He's just gonna die to the Sandstorm if this guy wanted him to. No, he lets him blink out. Sand King, why? That Sandstorm was the money. That would have gotten a kill or forced an ultimate. He was trapped there infinitely.
There was no way out. But
maybe no one has a force up on the Radiant side. There was no escape for him. Will be a Roshan
could have tried to TP. I mean, it's not like they had vision.
Yeah, that's true.
Could have TP'd back to the tier 1. But CNB, they're going to go in for the Roshan themselves here. It's pretty questionable.
Yeah, here comes your Weaver, and Reincarnation is now up. U9 goes in with the Blink Clap, the ultimate. Can throw the Wraith King down. Unfortunately, he proc to Reincarnation. That's going to slow absolutely everyone. Taboo has a Grave ready. No Epicenter from the Sand King. You need that Epicenter in a fight like this. OD's already dead. 8KK has lost his Reincarnation. He's about to die for a second time. Complete surround coming out from TongFu. Epicenter just doesn't matter. It's too late. Brewmaster ult, it just hits the Primal Split Warriors. Weaver dies to it. Okay, you kill the Weaver, but he just buys back, time lapses in, says, alright, may not actually get a kill off of this, so maybe not the best buyback from your Weaver, but I could secure them Roshan. Actually, it's going to get them an AA kill. The Spout finds him out. SDN now. No Firefly for him, and that means no contesting Roshan. 5 heroes alive on the Radiant side, 1 for CNB, and it was what, I guess, a 4 for 2, 4 for 1? I guess 4 for 2. They lost the Shadow Shaman at the start, then lost the Weaver in the buyback.
Yeah, they lost the Dazzle.
Roshan has fallen into the Radiant.
So it's still a couple of kills for CNB, but just not a winning team fight for them overall.
What does CNB need to do? Like,
I think they needed the recovery Roshan really badly, unfortunately.
So wait for the second recovery.
I don't know if that's like, I don't know what kind of option that is. Okay, so this Observer Ward's going to be pinged out, so CNB at least have a handle on what's going on there. But I don't know. I feel like they really need a pick-off, though I don't know if TongFu... That might give them a small window of opportunity, especially since they want to finish up farming this Desolator on the Weaver. So they maybe have a little bit of time to go and find a pick-off and just start opening up the game
Yeah.
a little bit, but oh, Wraith King even actually goes for a Blink Dagger here. So we've got the triple Blink out for CNB.
He does want to be the one getting focused, so if he's blinking it means he's more likely getting spells thrown at him, so... Like, they definitely have enough initiation, it's just more about, from the teamfight strategy point of view, it just helps Wraith King soak up more spells, soak up more damage, make sure he gets his reincarnation off.
I mean, it gets him right on top of the target that he wants. Yeah. Whatever target he wants to be focusing right at the start of the fight.
Especially that Shadow Shaman especially.
Yeah, the Shadow Shaman and the Dazzle are both pretty high priority at this point.
Yeah. Smoke from CNB, they're going through their own jungle here, and this is finding nothing. They're maybe thinking Nature's Prophet is in some trees waiting to split Butcher's lanes. OD's just going along the tree line, trying to see if that smoke's going to get popped to reveal where Prophet is, but not happening.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
TongFu's like, they're in our jungle, guys. Let's draw circles over here. They're somewhere in this area, but no. They're up top. TongFu smartly just grouped his 5. Like, this
nice safe play from them. They've almost got the Desolator up on the Weaver. So
it's amazing how much stronger your teamfight is when you get that Desolator. It just like almost doubles Weaver's damage up.
Oh man.
OD. Blink is there for the Brewmaster. Not going to go for Axie. OD gets kind of tipped off that he's coming. And TongFu just complete map control I don't know. They haven't got Observer Ward Vision, but they've got map control in just the general sense that CNB are scared shitless of them.
Yeah, it is. It's extremely difficult for CNB to take a team fight right now.
Blink, but no lasso. Yalu goes through, and this bat's just going to melt to this. Weaver doesn't need no death, so he says, I'll just take you down without. Oh, this is trouble. OD's going to set the Weaver up for this one. Jikuchi on 3. No backs, gets the blink off. The Swarm wearing off, and AKK instead going to be the casualty here. That's Reincarnation being procced. Brewmaster ultimate preemptively used with the Serpent Wards. They're going high ground. There's a creep wave in the bottom lane. Epicenter blink Burrow Strike. That's more likely from the Sand King. Unfortunately, there's no follow-up. Ice Blast comes a bit too late here. The Prophet as well. Shadow Shaman both getting very low. Prophet will shatter, as does the Shadow Shaman. AKK now on the run here. The Brewmaster Primal with nice armlet toggling, keeping him alive a bit longer here. The Weaver wants his kill. Procs his Aegis will get the kill or not. He will. Weaver Swarm gets the kill there, and with Wraith King dead, this is something not as good as CNB would have hoped for, but they've still killed off 4. They lose a tier 3 tower, they kill 4, and TongFu just get way too aggressive. Finally, Sand King figured out how to use his epicenter.
Yeah, and that's the epicenter they've been waiting for pretty much this entire game.
I feel like he could have done that like any of the last 2 fights.
Yeah, I don't think there was anything stopping him necessarily. So they get the fight. Also, TongFu just a little bit sloppy as far as how they chose to go about that. They saw that the Wraith King had popped his ultimate, and they could have backed off, they could have reset, they could have taken that as an opportunity, but instead they were like, screw it, let's just stay grouped as 5, plop down the Serpent Ward, pop the Brewmaster ultimate. You don't want to
Brewmaster ulti for like a Wraith King. You want to try to get into like near the supports, like the Sand King, the AA. Like he pops it there, he can maybe... you don't want to be trying to focus Wraith King. You want to Cyclone the Wraith King and then focus the other hero.
He didn't even ult on top of where the Wraith King was respawning. He just ulted and started hitting the tower with all 3.
From the low ground, yeah.
Yeah, so that was a little bit strange.
Primal Split not bad for sieging towers. It actually has good damage, but it's so much better at team fighting. So it's like, you don't really want to do that.
Yeah, you definitely want to just jump in and like jump at the Sand King in that situation and just prevent him from doing exactly what he did, which was epicenter your entire team. Along with the Ice Blast. That was just a really nice combo from CNB. And they hold. They burn the Aegis, so they're on slightly more even footing now, and they do still have the double Midas carrying them along.
They're getting out farmed really badly, though. That's the problem. Like, your Prophet and Weaver are so much more farm than anyone else on the map. And OD's not like a good catch-up farmer. Like, Prophet and Weaver just farm a bit faster. They also can they're much more ready to fight. OD, item-wise, just 4 stuff. Like, you've got 3k gold, but you either get a BKB, which you can get in 1k gold, or you get a Hex, which is going to be like another 2.5k. So he's close to a BKB, but if you go BKB, you're really not going to be able to do too much with just BKB in a team fight. And I don't think BKB is necessarily a good item against this TongFu draft.
Yeah, he desperately wants both, but the question is he going to get the time to farm it? And the answer is probably no. So CNB, it's tough to say what they can do at this point. I do think that the Batrider and the Sand King should probably be off a little bit more, looking for some more pickoffs, just because that's a lot of what the focus of the lineup is about. And if they can get pickoffs on, say, the Nature's Prophet as he's split pushing, they buy themselves a little bit of extra time for the Wraith King and the OD to be able to get that farm. But
Yule Scepter. This is cool. I like, you know, it was like one of the things I said to Icefrog when like talking new patch, new things. I was like, I want to see Blink Dagger get like a small little nerf. I like the 0 mana cost, but it needs to either be made more expensive or something. And the Yule's buff was basically a nerf to Blink Dagger. I feel
pretty much.
Like that's the only practical application for the 50 magic damage. I don't know. I can't think of anything else really.
No, I think canceling Blink Dagger is the.
That's all that really. I mean, okay, you get some extra damage. You
Yes.
get like a long range, like you need because maybe you're knocking that last right click because they're too far away, and that extra damage gets you. Well, I guess you use it to catch up anyways. But yeah, it's entirely to cancel Blink Dagger. So it's pretty cool because Yule's is a pretty underbought. I don't know, man. It's not underbought, but it's not. It's no way. It's not like a commonly purchased item, but you now have more incentive to go for it.
Yeah, the thing is, it wasn't really well targeted at any core heroes, and like cores just don't really want to farm it, since they'd much rather start working towards, say, an Orchid or a Hex or something along those lines. And then support didn't have a huge amount of incentive to buy it because often getting a 4-staff, saving your own teammates was a much bigger thing than just taking somebody out of the fight. But with that little change, it does make it that bit more attractive, especially against, like you said, you've got this triple Blink Dagger lineup from CNB, so it's really nice. It's also just really nice against the Batrider if you have fast reactions. Batrider blinks, you immediately Yules him, you save whoever was lassoed, or even maybe the lasso doesn't go off, and that sets you up for a really easy team fight. So, nice pickup here from Kabu. Yep. We are going to have a little bit of a pause. Yeah,
people crashing, people DCing, I don't know. But Bats is going BKB, so that'll be some help against the Yule. It's the Yule's counter. Gotta counter that OP Yules. OD's bought a BKB of his own, so I think it makes sense to get the BKB before the Hex, just because you don't know if you're actually like. There's gonna be fights before you can finish a Hex, so you'd rather get an item which you could finish now. Like I think if he had the option of one or the other, maybe he'd say Hex, but end of the day he only had 4k gold, so it's like, well, buy what you can.
Yeah, and if they don't have the lockdown to kill the target that they need to between the Bat, the Wraith King, and the Sand King, then I don't know if the Hex is necessarily making the difference, and I don't know whether or not the OD is going to be in position to start things off with the Hex. It's always pretty much going to be one of the other 3 stuns leading the fight. So I don't know. I think I like the BKB quite a bit here. He's probably still going to go into the Hex immediately just because it's such nice damage, but I think the BKB makes sense just so he doesn't spend the entire fight up in the air, courtesy of the Brewmaster.
Yeah. How's your perfect world doing?
Oh, it's not very good. It's not very perfect.
I'm glad it's your computer, not mine, because we don't really have a way of switching video feed up here.
Yeah, I don't understand how we are sitting literally next to one another, connected to the exact same network, and my game is a slideshow and yours is silky smooth.
It makes no sense. And one day it's like that computer, the next day it's my computer. It's just completely random as to.
And you reconnect, and it doesn't change anything.
Yeah, you can reconnect 10 times, and it never.
Sometimes it fixes it. Sometimes it fixes it.
I would say rarely, though. Most of the time, like once it's lagging, you're done until the next game. Like next game, then it's potluck again as to whether you're lagging or not. But it's very random and unpredictable. But we've got Batrider still DC. Looks like he's spiked. His PC hung or whatever that means. One of the few phrases I recognize in Chinese Dota. So, I mean, TongFu pretty heavy favorites at this, as where things stand right now. Roshan not up for a good 2+ minutes, but I think even without that, TongFu can just kind of. They have no wards up. Like that's kind of what bothers me a bit about TongFu. They should have a gem. They should have wards all over the map offensively, but they're just not really doing that right now.
So there is a gem actually over on CNB, which is in the hands of the Bat right now. So maintaining map control is a little bit more difficult.
Especially if like CNB can have the more teamfight focused lineup, so they'll fight you over that map control, I guess.
Yeah, I think the one big thing for TongFu is that they got so much value out of the Brewmaster and the Brewmaster Blink, while CNB, so much of their early game was devoted to getting the Batrider Blink and the Sand King Blink, and I just feel like they haven't really done enough in fights. Like we talked about the Sand King, he had this 8.5 minute Blink Dagger, which is fantastic, but then the next 3 team fights in a row he didn't cast Epicenter and he didn't really get anything done. Yeah. So I think you have to question the Sand King's impact a little bit as far as how they ended up in this situation this game, because especially that team fight top, like again we were talking, no Mac, you land a good epicenter on all of those heroes along with some AA follow-up, and that can just be a teamfight 1 right there. You can get another tower out of that, you can get some more items, and it could be a very different game. So I don't think there's necessarily any drafting problems whatsoever for CNB. I just think it's a little bit of execution. And then also letting the warding get so bad right before they went for that gank with the Batrider and the Sand King, because I feel like for a lot of other teams, the warding would be there, and you would have been able to find at least somebody to get a pick off. Or they would have at least gotten the one gank on the Weaver at some stage earlier with one of those 2 Blink Daggers, but just didn't end up working out like that, and so the Weaver got really scary and really difficult to deal with as far as teamfights are concerned.
And part of the problem with the warding, I guess, is you've got a Sand King AA support. Like, Sand King was spending a lot of time farming his Blink, and then the AA can't really move around the map to help fix that problem of warding. And you haven't got like a mid hero like a Puck who can also help out with the warding here and there. So
yeah, it's a pretty static lineup from CNB. OD farms his lane, Wraith King farms his lane, Sand King farms the jungle, AA pulls, maybe zones at the off lane. But that's for those 4 heroes. That's pretty much their entire early game, not really moving around that much. I mean, I think CNB could have potentially ganked a bit more with the Sand King AA. I mean, you're talking about ganking a Brewmaster with an Imprison to lead things off, so you can Imprison straight into Chilling Touch everybody, Burrow Strike, Cold Feet. Maybe there's a TP coming in from the Dazzle, but and again, this comes back to the point where CNB, they made the conscious decision not to gank, and instead they chose to farm, and unfortunately the farming decision didn't work out because they didn't do enough with it. That Sand King Blink Dagger just didn't really win them any fights, didn't really make any big plays with it, so... We've seen some underwhelming Sand Kings as well. What was the stat? I think it was like a 33% win rate in one of the
SEA,
the qualifiers.
I think that was.
Yeah, in SEA or America, it was not a very.
I think it was Sand King that had a bad win rate in SEA. I think it was picked maybe like 24, 25 games and won the third or so of them. So, yeah, not the most successful hero there. I mean, I definitely like the hero. I think it was. I think teams were overpicking Treant Protector and underpicking Sand King. Like that was what I felt like with a lot of the drafts. Like teams were always like, "Oh, Treant, say let's get him." And once you have Treant, well, Sand King's kind of no longer an option.
Yeah, you're not gonna go Treant and Sand King. That's just that's not a winning recipe.
But yeah, for this game, we're a bit of a pause, waiting for the Batrider to still reconnect here. It's 18 kills to 15. Radiant, like they've just got such a good siege. Like you look at Necro 3 being up, Serpent Wards, you've got Brewmaster Ultimate. Like pushing high ground is something that the Lamp does so well. There's no Roshan for some time, but even... Do you feel like they need to wait for Roshan before they try siege the high ground, or can they actually chip away at it before then?
No, I think Roshan fights are kind of dangerous for TongFu. Especially now that there's a gem over on CNB, there's no guaranteeing like 3 wards covering every angle of attack on the Roshan pit and necessarily getting it safely. So I think for them it's much more about... They're about to have the Hex up on the Prophet, get a pick off out of that at the start of the fight, and then just look to close out 2 lanes of racks in the game pretty swiftly after. So how are things going as far as our overall standings are concerned?
I was taking a quick peek as well. So TongFu 1 and 2, as far as these 2 teams are concerned. CNB, they're yet to get their first win.
CNB have played Dreamtime and New Element, so maybe excusable losses, but obviously you can't call certain games excusable losses if you're making a run for top 4. I think that's just more of our expectations about the team. And HET 3-0, LGD 3-0.
LGD beat New Element just recently because that match was going on downstairs in the main studio when I came up here. So that was New Element's second loss. Which, I mean, they're still in an okay position. The problem for New Element is they lost like huge long game to CIS. If they'd won that, they'd be 3-1 with their only loss to LGD, and they'd be in a really good position because of the upset over DT Club. But hey, I think they're still in an okay position to make a top 4 run. I don't know, nothing. CIS 1 and 2. They're losing to who did CIS lose to?
TongFu and HET. That's not a strong start.
Yeah,
I feel.
Losing to TongFu. I feel like this race, this 4th place spot, is going to be like 4 or 5 teams, all very similar, kind of unimpressive records, but just somehow one of them will scrape through with maybe 5 wins or will be quite a few teams with 5 wins.
So almost. You think everybody for 4th probably loses to whoever ends up being your top 3, and then...
Well, already DT Club have lost a game for New Element, like New Elements.
Yeah.
So maybe not entirely, but like, I think DT Club should still get top 2, top 3. I'd be surprised if not.
Yeah, no, I definitely think everybody is still pinning DT Club and
they got
LGD as the...
They got cheese, so... New Elements
it's part of the game.
Oh yeah,
you gotta be looking out for it.
No, I agree. It is part of the game, but I think like over like a bigger sample size of matches, DT Club will stabilize and not lose too often. Like the way BO1, you look at a single game, it can be unpredictable, but you look at the big picture in DT Club.
And you only get level 1 Roshan once in something like this.
In theory, well, let's hope so for
you
DT Club.
You only let them get away with it once. I think after that you start thinking about it every single game. You just use that 60 seconds of selection time to you look at their lineup and you just say in the call, guys, can they level 1 Roshan? And everybody looks at it for 10 seconds. Yeah. And you all say yes or no, and then based on that, you decide to...
If more than one person says yes, you check it.
Yeah, you definitely check it. You don't want to get level 1 Roshan.
Yeah.
Interestingly, though, we've seen a couple of level 1 Roshans over the course of the 3 qualifiers that we've had so far, and while most of the level 1 Roshan teams have won, a lot of them have been like 60, 70-plus minute grind fests where the team that gets level 1 Roshan actually manages to almost drag the game back.
You get level 1 Roshan, you should be winning the game in like 20 minutes, in theory. Like, that's the beauty of it.
I mean, unless you're doing it because you think, okay, we're the weaker team, we need the advantage coming into this game, so we better level 1 Roshan because you don't think you can win conventionally, let's say. Not to say that level 1 Roshan is
well, I mean, I think that was part of it for New Element against DT Club. Like, they're thinking, if we play a standard game, this ain't gonna work.
Yeah. And for New Element, that could be the difference maker in as far as their overall positioning is concerned, because a lot of people have them middle of the pack. Like, a lot of people are saying what CNB, LGD, CDC, and TongFu probably bottom 3.
I had TongFu a bit higher.
TongFu a bit higher.
I give TongFu. I think I give TongFu a shot to be like one of those teams tied 4th.
So is it only a? Do people only feel that it's like a guaranteed top 2 and a guaranteed bottom 2, and then everybody else is fighting in the middle?
I think it's guaranteed top 3 with HGT, LGD, and DT Club.
Okay. And then so
4th
like,
can be anyone.
So then it's like a Renda, New Element, TongFu fighting it out along with CAS and Speed fighting
I wouldn't have rated Renda very high, but they beat TongFu and they beat Speed Gaming so far. They're 2-1.
Okay, so I think we still need to see more games.
They
from
lost
them.
to who's this yellow thingy? That's HGT. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, Arenda's theoretically a contender. I would maybe count Speed Gaming out. They lost to LGD as well as Arenda. I mean, it's too early to say who you count out. Like, you can maybe count people out based on how they played, but apart from like LGD C-Deck and maybe CNB have only lost twice. Depends on the result here. If they lose this, maybe that's what you're saying. CNB, LGD, C-Deck, bottom 2, but or at least not making top 5. Maybe they win a few games, but they're probably not going to make top 5 when they've lost to teams they probably shouldn't.
Yeah, well, we've seen plenty of teams drag down the hopes of other squads while they themselves are in a position where they can't actually advance. I think what most notably of that would have been Zephyr versus Scythe for me. Zephyr were mathematically eliminated.
Yeah.
Scythe, had they won that game, would have put themselves into what was the 3-way tie.
They still would have had to have beaten Arrow, which they went on to do.
Which
they
did. Which
who knows? Who knows how that game would have gone if
Scythe had been in contention.
Yeah.
Okay.
It may have been. I mean, it was a clowny game, and Arrow were clowning around. It started off as just Scythe clowning around, but then Arrow's like, "Oh, we'll clown around with you." So, if it was a serious game from the get-go, who knows? Like, you probably call Arrow favorites.
But that's where the scheduling matters so much. As well. If you, the difficult teams are playing their hearts out right at the very start because they want those wins, and then there comes a point where you are guaranteed top 2, and there's just very little incentive.
So LGD C-Deck beat Arenda, which is bad news for Arenda and not exactly good news for LGD C-Deck, considering they're already 0-3. It basically means LGD C-Deck probably still not getting top 5, and now Arenda also not getting
probably
top 5.
not getting top 5
so they're just
either.
Less so helping themselves, but just screwing over Arenda.
It's that drag down.
Yep. So I would at this
point
taking
you with us.
Maybe preemptive, but I'd say a render maybe out. I mean, we're just halfway through day one, but like I would say it's TongFu, CIS, and any fighting over 4th place maybe.
Yeah, more than likely.
Maybe Speed Gaming if they do Speed Gaming a 1-on-1. It's kind of too soon to tell for them, but hey, pause seems to be over. We may be getting back in.
Awesome.
All right. That's
hey, my perfect world server. The pause fixed it. There you go.
Good to know. Strategic pause. What's proper buying? It says Hex. Yeah, it
should be.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
So Hex up. This is definitely pretty nice there.
Yep.
How do you do? Yeah, we just had a long pause. We had said Ben come out. 10 minutes.
Yeah.
10 minutes. All right. We got Merlini joining the stream. He's just checking in, seeing when he's going to be casting.
Ben's just poking his head in the door.
But as things stand right now, TongFu 18 kills to 15. T1 tower denied.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Sneaky sanking. I don't think he wants to do anything down here. He wants to just get. He wants to get out of there.
Probably not. Okay,
That's
so
not
CNB, do they have any new items? So they've got that BKB, which is yet to be shown off. They can almost get a BKB on the Wraith King.
And almost a BKB on Bat, so they'll have triple BKB soon.
That's going to help a lot.
There's still good right-click damage from Weaver, Brewmaster Ultimate, and stuff like this. Yeah, Dogfights is going to be the one getting initiated, and that's your OD. New BKB ain't going to matter. STN just says, get me out of there as he 4 staffs away, so... I feel like TongFu have such a good lineup against BKBs in general. Like, their right-click damage is good. Brewmaster, Primal Splits hit pretty hard. Weaver does. Prophet hits hard. Serpent Wards do right-click damage. And also, they've got insta-lock... Yeah, minus armor. They've also got insta-lockdown, like Blink Hex from a Shadow Shaman, Scythe of Vice from the Prophet. They've got multiple disables, which are good to actually kill heroes with BKBs if you can catch them by surprise. So I'm not sure. I still think BKBs are it's the right item choice for a lot of these heroes, but it's not going to just suddenly be like, oh, I'm invulnerable because I got BKB.
Yeah, they still need to be getting the jump, for sure. I think for TongFu, they'll probably wait around until they have this level 16 up on the Brewmaster, and then maybe make an attempt at something. I don't know if they're necessarily going to wait around.
It seems Roshan. Let's wait for Roche. It seems to be more. It seems to be it more than anything right now, which is 1 minute away.
I guess with the Nature's Prophet, he can always split push top and force CNB away from the Roshan pit. So that's maybe the thought process there as far as, okay, is this Roshan free for us to take? Well, okay, yeah, maybe.
They try and gank the Prophet top, but they've just gone right past the Observer Ward to do so. They did see the Observer Ward with the gems, so they'll go back and get it. Unfortunately, no kills for them, and that's really what they want to try and do here. So if you kill the Prophet, it means TongFu will struggle to get that Roshan.
Oh man, BKB complete for the Weaver. This Weaver is just absolutely a boss right now.
Yeah, that's where OD can't really touch him. And this OD, if OD had like a Hex right now, I would say this is maybe...
Courier? Where you going, buddy?
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Buddy?
Oh, that's the BK. Well, that's an expensive Courier. That's a rating Courier. Jeez. This is where I'd say if OD had a Hex with the BKB, like maybe I'd be like giving CNB like an okay shot, but he's not even close to that, and that's where I say, well, CNB are in some trouble.
And the OD just turned out to be... Well, I don't know if it was necessarily a greedy pick. I think so much of it, again, just comes back to how the mid-game played out. If CNB had made more space, they could have secured their own Roshan, yada yada, really well, better team fights, more even game.
Non-stop, so...
Yeah.
Not sure. The minus OG's become fairly standard, but...
I would agree, yeah.
It's one of those things where you have minus before he got that 4 stuff up, he was just getting ganked non-stop. And here we go. Blink Burrow straight bottom lane. Sorry, Fox Prophet. He's got the Shadow Blade. No Bat Rider here for the detection just yet, but with the Ice... Oh no, Ice Blast's going to climb in now. Sorry, Fox going to Grave TP out. He's not going to go down. Oh dear, what a disaster. Brewmaster gets 1 to start things off here. Now 8KK on the Wraith King going to go down. The Primal Split Warriors waiting for the respawn here, and 8KK locked into place here. Episand Burrow Strike goes through. Kabu Low doesn't have the Grave up, but does Yules himself with a wand waiting for him. He's actually going to stay alive. 8KK going to die for a second time. That's 3 dead. No one lost on the side of TongFu. Make it 4 with the AA going down. And now Sandking trying to Burrow Strike his way out of there. Not going to have much luck. 5 for nothing. They went in, they saw what they thought was an opening, but it was just the door slamming in their face.
They lassoed the Brewmaster, but they also imprisoned him.
Yeah.
So they completely saved him there because of that. And I think that was a big reason why that fight went so poorly. Also, obviously as well, they tried to burst the Nature's Prophet, and in comes Kabu with the clutch grave.
That's a straight up GG. Yeah.
Okay.
After that, it's over there, and I think CNB quickly realized that. But hey, strictly business for TongFu, and this puts them to 2 wins, 2 losses, still in the race for that we're going to call it the race for 4th spot here. I think it's
I
fair to say
think
that.
that's fair to call.
If things change, we'll call it something else. But for now, it's the race for that 4th spot behind LGD, Hyperglory team, as well as DT Club. Although DT Club not even in the top 4 currently, but they haven't played many matches. So, yeah, that does it. I mean, CNB. Do you give them much of a shot of winning some games down the track against other teams, or did they just not really impress you?
I think it was pretty solid from CNB. I mean, a fairly solid draft. Maybe a little bit on the greedy side. Could have maybe been punished by a team with slightly better execution, maybe a little bit more confidence as far as going for an aggressive tri-lane. Would have been concerned. I think there was definitely maybe an opening to shuffle the lanes around, maybe with a slightly different last pick, and just end up maybe slightly stronger overall. But
they started off well. Like, they got the first 2 kills of the game. They killed the Prophet top. They got first blood bottom lane. Like, I was thinking, okay, we got ourselves a decent game here, but
then things just kind of fell off the rails in the mid game.
I mean, they traded kills a little bit, but
that's a big feature of a lot of these. And I think it's fair to say tier 2 Chinese teams, that they're very practiced in the early game, and they have their favorite early game strats, and it often works out. But where things tend to go badly is
so often they'll get up 3, 4, 5 kills, but then their opponents farm more efficiently than them.
Yeah,
mid team fight better. I mean, that was the any new element versus DT Club game. That new element one, they had their level 1 rotation stat, but they almost lost that game. Like, I don't know if you did you see much of it?
I've
they kept trying to 5-man push down mid lane, and they would just get they got team wiped like 2 or 3 times in a row. They only won because they like kept throwing their lives for Raxes, and eventually it paid off. Like, enough Rat Dota finally paid off, but they
not clean at all.
They kind of deserved to lose based on their play. Like, they got outplayed really hardcore. They forced the issue way too much, but they had a lineup. They had a very forgiving lineup. So
there you go. Sometimes what it takes. You got to you win the draft, you win the level 1 Roshan, and then you just have to kind of stumble your way through the rest of it.
Make it work. They had a draft which was just like, you win eventually if you push enough. But I'm done casting for here. You're going to stick around and cast with Merlini for the next game, which is going to be CIS versus LGD CDEC. So LGD CDEC now at least have a win under their belt. CIS, by no means an unbeatable team as well. So this could be a close game, or could just be a CIS win for them. But I don't know.
Pretty important game for CIS as well. You can't afford to be. You
Every
can't afford
matters.
to be dropping the gimmies, right?
No.
Like if people are saying that there are 2 teams that are clearly at the bottom, well, you better beat those 2 teams, otherwise you're in some trouble. So hopefully CIS will be able to pull out the win. But LGD CDEC, I give them at least a little bit of a chance.
Yeah. I mean, they've got some talent. Maybe, obviously, the big pub star in China, known for some of his individual play. Also played on LGD's main squad for a while, so definitely got some good experience from there. But lots of streams going on. We've also got the main stream, which I think has Dreamtime versus Hyperglory team going on. So a big match there for as far as the top 2, top 3 is concerned, with DT Club already having a loss. Another loss to HGT, and suddenly they're not looking like they'll finish top 2, but more 3rd and 4th. So that's actually a pretty important match. You can check out all the streams, twitch.tv/team/TI4NA or www.beyondthesummit.tv. Links to all the streams. We're the NA hub for the TI4 qualifiers, presented by Monster Energy. I'm Gods, he's Baseskip. Thanks to you guys for tuning in. We'll be back after a short break.